guys.
Welcome back to our anti-bullying live stream. I'm Del.
I'm John.
Once a month we go live with you guys and we share all of our updates about anti-bullying work, the things that have been going on in the news, the things that have been going on with you guys, our anti-bullying ambassadors. But this month we're joined with some really special guests, so I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm James, and I'm in a band called The Vamps, and this is another James.
Yeah, my name is James, and I'm an anti-bullying ambassador on the National Youth Board.
Cool, so we're joined by two Jameses today, which is really excellent. And they're both actually anti-bullying ambassadors. So James McVey, can you tell us interestingly how you became an anti-bullying ambassador?
It should be James 1, I think. And
James 1? Let's go with James 1.
So I was... I've been doing stuff with anti-bullying pro for quite a while now, a few years. I can't pinpoint an exact moment, but I do remember that I spoke out a little bit. I did a YouTube thing for about a year, and one of the videos was about bullying. Because when I was younger, getting into music, I was kind of victimised for writing songs when I was sort of 15, 16. And I did a YouTube video on that, and then from there, Alex from Anti-Bullying Pro reached out to me and asked if I wanted to get involved with the charity. So yeah, a couple of years ago.
That's a really cool story.
And yeah, where has your work with us allowed you to have the most impact, do you think?
It's really bizarre. We've done so many cool things together, and I think primarily, I guess, social media has been so poignant in my career, but then also to kind of spread the message of what we've been doing. So, like the other day, I went into a school with a couple of the other Vamps boys, and we spoke to the class, but you know, like they recorded that and took pictures of that and then shared it online. And I think the cool thing about social media, from our perspective, is we're lucky we have quite a widespread fan base across the world. So I guess the biggest kind of impact, hopefully, that I've had has been on social media, because it's hit like a global community.
Brilliant, fantastic. Yeah, so speaking of social media, this month we had Safer Internet Day on the 6th.
Yes!
James, did you do anything? James 2.
Okay. So I was a part of this this campaign called the Digital Sunset Challenge, and what it is for a whole week, yeah, all the young people in year 5 and 6 and 7 Oaks, they went to bed at about 8 o'clock. But when they were doing that, they put their phones down, their tablets, all of their consoles down for a whole week. So when they went to bed, they didn't get any distractions from it, and they could get a really good night's sleep and be really energetic for the next day in school.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Do you think that apps and phones do create a large distraction at night then?
That is true. I don't want to say it, but I think it is. You could probably agree with that. Yeah. Sometimes going to bed is the last thing you do, innit? So definitely.
I mean, I'll hold my hands up and say that I do check my Instagram, which is a terrible habit. It's a really bad habit that we should all try and kick. So I think that's a great campaign. Well done, James 2.
Thank you.
James 2. So our Be Strong ambassadors were at the Forest School in London, and they were running some workshops there. We also had the East Manchester Academy ambassadors running workshops and assemblies, and in Leeds we also had some ambassadors making their own presentation and showing it to every school, so that's pretty good. We're gearing up with Be Strong Online for Bristol and Cardiff, Kettering and Middlesbrough. If you would like to get involved, you can follow our story and get involved that way.
Yeah, so if you're a Bristolian, or if you're Welsh, or if you live in Kettering and you would like to learn more about digital resilience, how we can use the internet for good, and just be really cool people when we're online, make sure you go to our website, go to Be Strong Online, and you can get us.
A conversation you've had in real life 5 years ago, but you can't delete your picture online once it's out there. So
That is true.
What advice would you give to someone who's looking to get more followers?
I think it's difficult, because I wouldn't be a main advocate for wanting to increase followers. I think there's more important things in life. I think that people's parameters are perhaps distorted if their main kind of inspiration is to get more followers. I would say though that with more, as you were saying, with more followers and more of an audience, I feel that people should have a moral obligation to cater towards their fan bases or audience and be conscious of who's listening and who's watching. So for me personally, I know that 1 in 3 internet users are children now, and you know, I have to have a conscious thought before I tweet what I'm tweeting, and especially, you know, with with various different governments around the world. I might not be happy with them, but I know that I can't be too aggressive towards certain Mr. Trump sometimes. Some people might, like a 9-year-old might be reading it and not.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be conscious of it. I would say that if you want to get more viewers, it's important to maintain true to yourself. I think a lot of people are adamant to try and face tune themselves all the time in the hope to get more followers. But I think if you have an audience that likes you for not what you are, then I'd say that's sort of pointless. Make sure you stick to yourself.
One thing as well, you know the new Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. One of the actresses in it, I think her name's Kelly Marie Tran, and she's recently gained loads and loads of followers on Instagram because obviously she's in the Star Wars movie. She did an amazing job, by the way. But she is seeing it as a really cool thing, sort of. But she's really surprised to it, and she feels like, am I doing a good job at this? Am I not doing a good job at this? But seeing her grow as a person is a really good thing. And she's not used to having all of these followers because she still is a normal person. But like you said, James, she has maintained keeping herself the same person as she was before the movies. She does interact with her fan base in a very positive way, and she uses social media for a really positive thing, which I think is such a good role model for all of the young people.
And James too, you are an anti-bullying ambassador, so you've actually trained with us, and since you've been trained, you've done some absolutely phenomenal work.
Thank you.
And you're kind of growing a lot with sharing your anti-bullying message and lots of different creative ways, like your Digital Sunset campaign. How are you finding now using that platform for anti-bullying work and the kind of things that you have to think about?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, when I first got social media, I wasn't using it for as much as a positive thing that I am now. I do make so many mistakes, and I do so much stupid stuff because I did feel like it wasn't real, social media, but then now looking back on it, it's very real. But then becoming an anti-bullying ambassador has taught me that everything that I post online, a lot of people are seeing that, and it is hard to get back. So I always think twice about everything that I post, everything that I share, and I try and be careful of that. And I realise, why don't I use my platform for positivity? And that's why I use some of my songwriting to try and inspire others through that as well.
Guys can relate on that.
Yeah.
Anti-bullying ambassadors and songwriters.
Amazing.
Great.
One interesting thing to do is Google your name.
Yeah, I have actually Googled myself.
Yeah.
James, too, you might be a little bit too young, but did you ever use MySpace?
No, I don't use MySpace.
Okay, so you guys might not know what MySpace is because you might be a lot younger than me, but I cannot get my MySpace photos off Google. And that was before I learned how to do my eyebrows properly, everything. I really wish I could get rid of them, but I can't. And I think just Google yourself because it gives you a really good example of how when we put stuff out there, we might not think about it.
Yeah.
But like James Wong was saying, and James too, it's there for kind of a long time. So just always think about that, I think.
Cool. So,
I'm breaking
Smiley.
Oh no, what have we done? Right.
Give it to James. Can hold it.
Yes, we hold it.
Yeah.
Just means we're happy with all the content creation tips.
Yeah.
Yes, so speaking of content creation, we have the Be Nice bus. It is travelling to London in April and to Gloucester. So if you're interested, visit the website for more information so we can sit and talk about responsible content creation.
John has new emojis for the bus. So if you want to come on and learn about cyberbullying and take some really cool pictures with these emojis, get on the bus and John will bring them to your school.
Get on board. Okay, cool. So we have some shout-outs now that we would get like James to do. So just a few of the amazing young people that we've worked with over the last month.
Yeah. So first is Lizzie from, I'm not sure how to say this school name. Is it DeFerris High School, for championing diversity through sharing personal experiences and for all the amazing awards she has gained. So well done, Lizzie. James, do you want to do one as well? Second one there.
So Chloe from Alsham High School. Well done on all of your anti-bullying work and your talks on equality and diversity. It's really important. So well done on making a difference.
Hilton from Sycamore School for great leadership skills and good luck on your school move.
Yeah, we got Tyler from Ridgewood School for his eloquent and confident talks on key and important issues.
And then finally we have a shout out to Kingsbury High School in London for being amazing hosts and such enthusiastic ambassadors. We hope to see you guys very soon, as well as Nottingham and Manchester ambassadors at our upskill trainings.
So well done on all of
that. Hello guys.
Fantastic. Okay, and last month we gave you a challenge to name our live stream because we couldn't really think of what to call it, and we decided that you guys were probably the best people to give that job to. And some awesome entries
really
came in on our comments, but we did pick one. So I'm going to let John, he's going to reveal the name first. Okay, so the winner is, how many XOs?
XO.
Frankie?
_Frankie, yeah.
Okay.
With an X.
With an X. So Frankie with an X names our live stream, and she's named it.
AB, let's talk.
Hashtag anti-bullying, let's talk. So well done to Frankie, and also well done to everybody who got a shout out from James 1 and James 2. You guys are going to be the winners of our We Day tickets. So you're going to get to go to We Day in Wembley Arena. You and a friend, do the We Day dance. James, you know the We Day dance.
I went last year, it was sick.
Didn't we play there last year?
Yeah, you did.
They're both there.
And I think 2 of us are going to We Day this year, but I'm in LA. But Connor and Tristan are going to We Day, so you can see them
cool.
there as well.
So you guys are going to go to We Day. You might see Connor and Tristan do the We Day dance. It's going to be great. But keep all the good work up. We love giving you guys shout outs for the things that you do in your schools and your communities. It's absolutely great.
So, some questions have come in for James.
James 1 or James 2?
Well, James 1, but I'm sure James 2 can answer as well.
James 2.
So, James, how do you become more confident and not care as much as what people think?
I've been very lucky that my career path has put me in front of a lot of people very quick. So I was very underconfident at school. I was, one, bullied, I guess, online, but then secondly, I was always overweight when I was a bit younger, very spotty, and kind of didn't really fit into any certain social groups. I was very underconfident before the BAMS. I think the biggest thing that I've learned is to go outside your comfort zone, and it doesn't have to be something like climbing Everest. It can literally be like, I don't know, signing up for like a school show. I'd never done that, and I did that, and that, like, I made so many friends doing that, and that really helped. So I think, stepping outside of your comfort zone contributes to your character. You learn more about yourself by doing that. So I'd say do things that scare you a little bit. Yeah.
But also, relating on to that, look at James now. He's in the BAMS. That's crazy. On a serious note, so if you guys are going through really hard things, just know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you're getting bullied for singing, if you're getting bullied for dancing or doing the average thing, then keep going, because that's what makes you different, and you should be able to celebrate your uniqueness. And that's what James has done. And now James is in a very successful band. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next question is from, wow, I should wear my glasses more often, is from Ellie Ruiz C. And she says, this is a bullying question, what role did viewers play in situations of bullying?
I think a massive, massive role, because social media is like a battleground, and like there's constantly something going on between whether it's fan bases of music or whatever, or models, and you can always, if you go online, like 9 times out of 10 I will see someone being mean to someone else, and I think you should, as a viewer, if you see it, you should help the person that's being victimised, because being bullied can be like the loneliest thing. And it's about supporting the people. So I don't think that you should just be silent on things. You should try and let your followers know that it's not okay to do that, and so that's what I'd say.
I think that goes back to the responsible creation as well, content creation.
And I think even offline, from our work that we do with bullying, the majority of bullying actually happens in front of a witness.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's always, most times, somebody who sees that. And I just think if you recognise the power you have as a viewer to become an upstander, it might just even be you give the person support afterwards, and you say, I thought what you went through was really rough. How can I help you? Speak to somebody about it. There's so many different ways to kind of put that positive foot forward, isn't there? And
also, if you're just watching bullying happening, you're going to be called a bystander. And we don't want to be bystanders, do we?
No.
So, bystander is someone who just stands there and watches the bullying happening, and that is just as bad as being the bully yourself, because you're witnessing this thing happening and you're not doing anything about it. everyone here, we want our young people to be strong people, don't we? We want you guys to use your voice, because everybody has a voice, so make sure you use it for the better. If you see bullying happening, then please speak up about it, yeah? And if you are getting bullied, talk to someone you trust, because James, some of your band members have been through some things, and like they spoke to people and that really helped them.
Yeah, I think opening up is the biggest thing, and having and if you're being bullied, that someone coming to you saying, you know, it automatically like unloads a bit of the burden if you're able to share it. You know what I mean? So,
exactly. Yeah. So just make sure you guys are talking to people. Yeah. Express your feelings.
Next, so we got another question from Mitch.Axon.
Mitch!
Do you know Mitch?
Yeah!
Oh.
Mitch has luckily been accepted onto our National Youth Board.
Yay!
Round of applause, Mitch!
Congrats, Mitch!
So, Mitch asks, if you had an anti-bullying ambassador, would it have helped you in your secondary school?
I think so, yeah. I think going back to what we were just saying, having someone to talk to about that would have helped. The problem I had back then was I felt very isolated and lonely, because I had some friends, but because music was so kind of alienating to everyone around me, because no one was really doing it. I didn't really know who to go to, but if I knew that there was someone that was I guess trained and knowledgeable on bullying, it would have been really handy. I think the anti-bullying ambassadors are great because it gets everyone talking about the whole issue.
Definitely.
For me at school, there wasn't anything. There was no real support network. It was going to like your head of year's office, and that was like terrifying. Like no one's gonna want to do that.
Yeah.
But for someone that's sort of like even closer to like our age,
that
there's less steps to take. It's more familiar. I think so. Yeah, definitely would have.
And James too, you are an anti-bullying ambassador in the secondary school. So, kind of, what impact do you think that's had both for you, but also maybe in your school and for your peers?
So I get a lot of young people and people my age messaging me, asking me for help and everything like that. And I think that every person that comes up to me, I feel so proud of them, because when I got bullied and when I went through things like that, I found it very, very, very hard to speak to people. I could only speak to like certain people because it was like hard for me to express my feelings. So when someone comes to me, I try and help them as much as I can, and then most of the time they get to a better place and they come back and they look back on what's happened and they feel like, I was strong, I got through that. So they had someone to talk to, which I think is the most important thing, because when you're bullied, you kind of feel like you're alone and you have no one to talk to. That's why I feel like an anti-bullying ambassador in schools is such an important thing. And if you have one, you're very, very lucky. And if not, I feel like you guys should get your teachers and get your head teachers to contact Anti-Bullying Pro and get trained.
Brilliant.
Cool.
So, should we get some questions from our viewers?
Yeah, Caroline has been collecting questions, so let's hear.
So we've got one from Lauren, and she asks, I think this is James 1.
Okay.
Do you feel like a stronger person now that you're openly speaking about bullying?
Yeah, I think being open about everything. So being open about emotion is very important. I did a Huffington Post article that looked at male masculinity and mental health, and it's proven that definitely guys, and I presume it's the same with guys that have been bullied, sometimes feel embarrassed and like they're less of a man for opening up about things that affect them. So I think opening up is so important. I've definitely, even though my bullying was like 10 years ago now, I definitely feel, even now, like recently I've become stronger as a person after kind of acknowledging and addressing that. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hi Lauren, by the way. I know who you are. So sick.
One more from Shades on Vamps is any advice on how to be more confident and to be yourself without people judging you?
I think we're lucky that you more probably than me now, and James too, is living in a world where social media enables people to be more, most of the time feel more comfortable because there are people that are like them. So for me, when I was doing my MySpace stuff, I didn't know anyone or spoke to anyone really online that was doing the same things as me. So I would say that social media, whilst it has its negative kind of areas, I think that you're lucky that to be confident, you can speak and hang out with people that are like you online as long as it's safe. I don't know really. I think stay true to yourself, because as we were saying before, there's no point trying to portray something that's not you, because inevitably it won't work. It's very hard to build relationships with people online when you're not being true to yourself. So I'd say, be true to yourself and stick to that.
Please just be you. Like, please forget anything else that you're trying to be that's not you. Just be you, because you may feel like not a lot of people like you for who you are or whatever, but trust me, someone is going to like you. Please be yourself, and that will come with so many rewards. Honestly, don't change for anybody. Don't change for anybody. You're probably amazing, yeah?
Definitely.
You're definitely amazing.
Okay.
Okay, I've got one more. To both of you guys, do you believe bullying starts from others being bullied?
Go for it.
I feel like sometimes I think it does, because I don't feel like anyone's born to bully, like no one's born to hate. So that behaviour is probably stemmed from somewhere. Maybe it stemmed from a harsh experience. And I always like to tell young people that I talk to that you have to empathise with people, put yourself in other people's shoes. Some wise person said this, and yes, again, I don't know who it is, but they said if everybody in the world had empathy, the world would be a 10 times better place. So put yourself in that person's shoes, and they could possibly be going through harsh things, and they're taking it out on you. Maybe that's why the bullying happens. So try and talk to the bully, try and understand what they're going through before you maybe take the next action. James? What?
Yeah, I mean, I copy and paste really. I think that as James was saying, it tends to have stemmed from something. I think one of the biggest issues is, as we were saying before, like disassociation, but with disrespect, it's kind of, a lot of the time the people that are bullying people don't really know the extent of the negativity that they're causing. There's a massive positive correlation between bullying and mental health problems. So I think, bullying does stem from bullying, but it's about getting the people that are doing the bullying to acknowledge the severity of what they're doing. So
But then also, no one's perfect at the end of the day. If you do make mistakes, like I've made so many mistakes, I'm not perfect whatsoever. I've made loads of mistakes, but it's how I bounce back from that. It's how I grew from my mistakes and learn from my mistakes. So every mistake you made, just make sure that you grow from it and you look back on that and see what you have done wrong and try and improve from that, alright? No one's perfect at the end of the day.
Yeah, one more? No?
One more,
Yeah.
go on,
one more.
I think this is one and
One
relates
more.
to what you guys are talking about. This one's from Bradley Bear 101, and he's asking, how can you help the one who is bullying realize what they're doing is wrong?
hard one, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel maybe talk to them. Try and talk to them. Sometimes it's not as easy to talk to someone who's maybe displaying bullying behaviour, but just try and talk to them. Try and see what they're going through. Maybe just ask them, are you okay? Are you alright? Because they could be going through something really traumatic that we might not know about. So maybe just try and talk to them. Try and, again, put yourself in their shoes. See what are they doing? Why are they acting like this? And why are they doing the things they're doing?
I agree.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Great. So I think we're going to stop it there. Hopefully we've covered this topic for you guys, but we'll be posting things on our story afterwards to signpost you to all the training that we talk about. If any of you are going through any of the issues that we've touched on today, we're going to signpost you to some support. But you can always access our support centre, and we will give you the numbers for people that you can speak to and kind of share their experience and get some really good help. But we hope that you've enjoyed it. I've had fun.
Thank you,
James.
James.
Yeah, you guys had fun.
Yeah.
We all learned something new today, I think. We will be back next month with a new topic, some new guests, and we're going to put the new challenge out for next month. So keep an eye out for that. But we really appreciate you guys coming on.
One last thing. Guys, if you are feeling lonely and if you are feeling like you have no one to talk to, there's this crazy new thing that some of us here created and that the Vamp support as well, called Stop Speak Support. Yeah. So find them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It really helps. You guys can talk to them. It's a really fun campaign to help you if you are being bullied.
Fantastic. Cool. John, you want to sign off?
Yeah, we can sign off. Thank you guys for coming in. It's been brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you, Del, for joining. And we'll see everyone next month.
Bye.
Thank you.